Today we need to get into HYBE trying to get V to delete everything, and then we also have apparent breakup news with V and Jennie, with people saying that V is really sad lately. And then we have V drinking some alleged alcohol. So hey Dumplings, it's Dave. Decide hate it or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Grab your dumplings, hey Spilling Milk merch, and let's go. ARMYs have been laughing so much over a recent live stream. Given that this is probably the last live stream we will see of BTS together or even separately in a little while, it's good to have a laugh and see that the boys are okay, and okay with the turn of events in their lives. The members hopped on their stream and there was a moment in which V decided that he would take some coffee. It was clear that he was getting a bit tired and needed a pick-me-up. He grabbed Arm's cup of coffee and Arm tried to play it cool as there was no coffee in that cup. You could see that he mouthed something, but it wasn't clear what he said, and obviously he said it in Korean. V took a sip and then immediately turned to Arm in shock and then went back and played it off as normal. Of course, if Arm reacted in a much bigger way, it would have been a lot more noticeable during the stream and people would have been asking live what was in the cup, and probably even the staff would ask, as I doubt that anything other than a family-friendly beverage would be acceptable during a live. ARMY had their own theories as to what was in the cup. To say that ARM probably had bought alcohol maybe to calm his nerves during the last stream in a while, and that likely would be the only reasonable assumption as to why V would have reacted the way that he did. Because V is probably thinking, why on earth would you bring alcohol to a live stream? And the staff probably would not be happy to hear that the boys are possibly drinking alcohol during the stream and maybe getting drunk. Of course, we will never know if it was straight alcohol or if it was an Irish coffee, and I think that's what makes these things funny. Funny enough, people never notice these things during the live show, and that's good because imagine if the staff noticed and then went over and took the cup away. But it's cute when people after the stream take apart the stream and notice these little moments, because ARMYs like to watch the stream many times and then zoom in on their favorite member and then zoom in on others and just watch everyone's reaction individually during the stream. And this is how we often have these BTS memes or funny moments in which we see their reaction to things. Of course, when idols do a little bit of alcohol, they're sometimes called alcoholics. And when they smoke a cig, it's often referred to that they're drug addicts. It's crazy because these are all quote-unquote socially acceptable vices that most people have, but are extremely unacceptable for idols to have. And I think this is interesting because the idea that just because an idol does something and then kids are going to do it is extremely outdated and not realistic. If I were to see someone I like drinking alcohol, it doesn't change the fact that I don't like it. And if a minor were to see it, it's not like they can buy it. And if they choose to drink or smoke later in life, whatever the parents or even the celebrity could say about drinking or smoking is not going to affect their decision to do it. Having a little drink to take the edge off is not a bad thing, especially for someone almost 30 like RM. The live stream didn't only have such funny and cute moments like this, but it also had moments where we got to see a bit of an alleged spoiler on what is to come. As we know, the boys had been possibly working on other things like new music and that sort of stuff, but we don't know when the payoff is going to be. And of course, everyone was very shocked when HYBE announced the initiation of the military before any of that stuff got released. Well, people think that V had leaked some things during the stream. He talked about how the staff told him that they noticed that he posted some things on his Instagram story and asked for those things to be removed, but then reposted it again at a later time. The other members during the stream asked which things he posted and V showed them. Apparently it was 2 photos. However, while they showed each other, ARMYs were left in the dark about if the photos were spoilers. ARMYs went back to the story to check it out. They noticed 2 photos that seemed to have a different vibe and aesthetic from each other, and it was super zoomed in photos. People have many assumptions as to what these photos were, theories ranging from if these photos were a photo concept of a new album or if these photos were part of a photofolio that V was planning on selling later. Many questions came to mind, but it was very interesting as the HYBE staff was attempting to delete everything, but ultimately did not. This also goes to show that K-pop labels are not as strict as they once were, and definitely not hyper-managed. While of course there would be a social media manager for the official BTS account or any group account, but the members' individual accounts are going to be done by themselves. The boys are also veterans now and understand the consequences of their actions. If he truly believed that by leaking these photos it would, let's say, ruin album sales, he would not do it, because if he did ruin his sales, that goes back to him and it makes him look bad as an artist. But he must think it's not a big deal and trust that even if he leaks those things, ARMYs will still buy whatever it is and support it. Labels in Korea nowadays will just urge you to do something, but can rarely ever force you to do anything you don't want to. And labels also are aware that their advice is just advice based on their professional opinion and what they've seen happen in the industry. So let's say someone is a bigger size for the standard K-pop idol. Professionals will tell that person to lose weight because they've only seen the smaller size person sell. But unicorn moments happen all the time in the industry, and people support bigger sized artists all the time. And sometimes what these executives don't realize is that people want to see someone they relate to. And at that point, they'll listen to whatever that artist wants to do, because it would then become clear to the executives that the artist is gaining mass support. And ultimately, we determine whether an artist or person becomes successful. So another example has to do with when artists get into scandals. If we decide that we want to continue to support and love them even after the alleged scandal, then they can definitely come back and be a force to reckon with. V and Jennie were in a dating rumor for a little while, and the rumor reached its peak when it was believed that V and Jennie were seen on a date. What was interesting to me was that it very much seemed like a publicity stunt. I will say this as just a conspiracy because we see the manager and their team with them during their date, which they're only there to make it really seem like it is V and Jennie. Also, amidst enlistment news, they apparently had broken up. It was reported by Korean news sites that the two had split up, and it was believed that Jennie was the one who ended things. Of course, if this was a real relationship or if this is all just fake news, I can imagine that V would be upset about losing someone. But also, relationships end for many different reasons, and sometimes it's just that the two had different goals. Would it necessarily be fair for Jennie to just wait around for a year and a half while V goes and enlists, especially considering they're both young and have much to learn about their life goals and what they want in a partner? Again, this is all going off if it's real. There's of course a chance that it is not. People were then going on to say that V is probably very upset and very sad recently due to the breakup, but since their dating was never even officially confirmed to begin with, I'm very curious how we even got breakup rumors now. But anyway, there was a moment where V was doing a live stream. He recently did one after the group stream, and it was a very short one. It was only 3 minutes, and he jumped on just to talk to ARMY a little bit. It seemed like a normal conversation, and if I'm going to be honest, it doesn't seem like he is upset or sad at all. But people were saying that V was crying or was being very sad. However, I think the boys are more mature beyond their age. Of course, breaking up hurts if it's real, but understanding that things need to go their own way, and also understanding that a big likelihood of any public relationship ending is eyeballs. Maybe Jennie was just tired and done with being made fun of online for allegedly dating V, and she didn't want to deal with that anymore. Would you be okay with waking up to seeing death threats in your comments every day? It of course would make sense why V wouldn't have chosen to end it, as he's not getting all that. People went in on Jennie when the rumors hit, from people mocking her talent to people slut-shaming her. That takes a toll, and ultimately if you're in a bad mood all the time, that takes a toll on the relationship. We also don't know the timelines of this alleged breakup, and it could have happened months ago, but just hitting the news now. So they both could have had time to grieve and could be over it by now. I think V is going to enjoy his time away from the spotlight a little bit and enjoy not having to deal with this nonsense every day and all these rumors. Let me know what you think. Make sure to check out Patreon for more videos. Link down below. Thanks for this lovely comment right here. Love you. Bye.